Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Peyton Tantz of New Paradigm Psychology, bringing you my weekly video, and this week's video is called The Alchemy of Transformation. And so what's different about this message today is that I'm inviting you and announcing this event, this live free online event coming up on November 2nd that's titled The Alchemy of Transformation, Illuminating the Inner Landscape of the Psyche. So this video is going to be an announcement, an invitation to join me in this free live event, and also an introduction to the topic that will be explored in depth in the live webinar. Okay, so this live free online event on November 7th will take place at 10 a.m. Pacific time, and it will be a 90-minute online Zoom meeting. And this basically will be a gathering of my community of people who are already interested in my work to just come together and have a chance to connect and have received some of these teachings in the creative new way that I'm bringing them forward. And also a real invitation for those of you that are interested in learning more about my work and really getting a deeper download, a deeper dive into what I'm offering and how it might serve you in your journey. And so this event, The Alchemy of Transformation, will be basically a download, a teaching, really holding this as a container for healing, for awakening, for raising consciousness. And that's the energetic template and the intention for the event always, right? Is to actually create an experience for those that are there that will be transformational, okay? I think anytime we learn new knowledge that's grounded and valid, that is transformational, right? If it speaks to us, if it gets through, that in and of itself. So let me dive into the topic, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about the details of the event afterwards. Okay, so what is the alchemy of transformation? So what we're looking at here is understanding what is the actual process that takes place in healing transformation. So breaking this down, to heal is a transformation, right? So if we're talking about healing, we're talking about transforming ourselves from one state of being wounded or broken or diseased, fragmented, however you want to look at that, wounded, traumatized. So moving from a state of being hurt or broken, let's say, and we're healing, and to heal, it means to become whole, right? That's actually what the word means. So we're talking about something that has to happen to transform us from one state of being to another state of being, right? So we're trying to heal into a state of wholeness, a state of being integrated as a being, a state of being coherent, empowered, rooted in a self that is secure and integrated and whole as a human. So this is really, ultimately, we're talking about the awakening process, which is a healing process as well. They're really one and the same, ultimately. And that's really complicated. They overlap. There's all kinds of overlap between what it means to heal, what it means to awaken and embody spiritual awakening. But this conversation is really just looking at it from a very wide angle lens. Okay, so what we're interested in here is really breaking this down. And the reason why I'm bringing in alchemy here is because the process of healing and awakening is like the alchemical process. It is a process of changing through different stages of transformation, right? So if we look at, alchemy, right, to traditional alchemy is a process of alchemical change taking place on a chemical molecular level, right? So the actual structure of the molecules in chemical compounds as a substance goes through states of transformation is a transformation, transform, right? The forms of the molecules that were in one form, change their state, right? So this is all, chemical processes, understanding physics and things like that on a scientific level. So that's really what I'm interested in, is breaking the process down. We're going to look at healing on a large scale, integrative healing, which includes all the dimensions of who we are as a human being, our physical body, our subtle body, our energy body, our spiritual nature, right? So we're looking at the alchemy of transformation on an integrative level that includes all the dimensions of who we are, if this process is really complete, okay? But what I'm really focused on, my specialization being psychological, is the psychology of this healing transformation, okay? So looking at the actual structure of the psyche, the structure and function of the psyche, breaking down the different elements of the psyche, looking at, what is the pure consciousness, the pure nature of our core essential self, what is the mind, what is the ego structure. So we're really going to break down, look at what needs to happen in the psyche in terms of our inner world and our relationship with our mind and body. What is the alchemy of the transformation that takes place as we awaken and heal and move out of a state of being traumatized, being broken, being in fear, to a state of being whole and integrated as a psychological being. Okay, so we're going to be breaking down the identity. We're going to be looking at what is the process, how do we become conscious and hack into our own psyche and understand our conditioning, right? Understand our unique templates of attachment, of core identity structures, etc., that these core limiting beliefs that are rooted deep in the unconscious. How do we bring all of this to consciousness? How do we become aware of ourselves at a deep level and engage in practices of self-inquiry? How do we really understand ourselves at a deep level in this way? And then how do we heal those core wounds? How do we heal those deeply rooted beliefs, negative beliefs about ourselves, those deeply ingrained and actually in our neural networks, right? How do we heal the trauma in our body? Okay, all of this stuff, this is all part of the alchemy of transformation that I'm talking about. And then lastly, how do we actually awaken to the true nature of our true self, what I would say, the spiritual nature, the essential nature of our core being that we discover once we have the inner space to differentiate the egoic identity from the deeper underlying ocean of consciousness that is the nature of reality, is the nature of who we are, this pure conscious being that underlies the whole thing. Okay, so it's the discovery. This is the last part, the discovery. It's really through self-realization that we heal. Okay, so that is the answer to the question ultimately from my perspective. Now, again, I'm talking about a very complicated subject. I'm taking, a bird's eye view to talk about some basic structures of the map of what this process of transformation looks like. Okay, so that's what I'll be going into in much more depth in this live event. And there will be time at the end for questions, so you can ask questions related to the topic I'll be discussing. Can ask any question really about my work or what I'm about, or really any question is just welcome in the space. So there'll be time for that at the end for some direct engagement with me. And then I'll also be inviting you, as I mentioned earlier, into my online community and telling you a little bit more about my online class, The Psychology of Awakening, which I offer at a very low fee. And when you join this webinar, you'll also be able to take advantage of a discount that I'll be offering, for a period of time after the event. So it's a great opportunity to get to know me more, to have a download of information that I think will support you in your own healing. If you're on the path of psychological healing, spiritual awakening, all of these things, I do offer my own unique version that really integrates all of this into a cohesive paradigm. And I hope that you can make it. So you can sign up. The link will be in the description of this video. You can click that link and go to the page and get all the information I just outlined. Easy to register, and you'll get an email in your inbox. And there will be a recording available for this if you can't make it live. So that will be there. And lastly, we'll be inviting cacao into our gathering. So I've been working with cacao as a sacred plant medicine in my classes and in my meetings online, actually. And it's really been a lovely experiment, and I'm going to continue doing the experiment because it's working really well. Cacao is the raw material that chocolate is made from, but it's used in a ceremonial way from the Mayans originally, but lots of these indigenous traditions have carried these ways forward of working with cacao in a sacred way, of bringing it in for healing. It's a very heart-opening substance, and it has a lot to offer us in a gathering like this to help us drop into our hearts together, to receive the information through the heart, and to also just open to a field of heart connection with the group, right? So we're really creating a beautiful field of heart coherence in the group, and we all really benefit from that a lot. So we'll be inviting cacao. I will invite, the participants to make your own cacao at home, ceremonial cacao, and bring it to the gathering. So I hope to see you there if this resonates. And like I said, just click the link in the description and you can go ahead and register there. And I will be back again next week. Okay, bye everyone.